Let's talk about Itachi first. Firstly, we have this Itachi, the Itachi who fought with Kakashi, Asuma, and Kurenai, the same guy who fought Sasuke, defeated him, and then died because of his sickness. Itachi is one of the most calm, composed, and tactical shinobi in the Narutoverse. He is a genius prodigy, comparable to the likes of Minato and Orochimaru. He is also one of the most intelligent, observant, and deductive shinobi. He can deduce the weakness of a jutsu just by observing enough. He is fast, agile, and has good reactions. Although I wouldn't put him in the same category as Minato in terms of speed, he is fast nonetheless. His chakra reserves were low, below average, and his sickness made it even worse. So, Itachi would normally try to end a battle as fast as he could, but he compensated for his low chakra reserves with efficient and fine-tuned chakra control. Itachi was beginning to lose his sight due to overuse of his Mangekyo Sharingan. However, even without all of Mangekyo's abilities, he was a formidable opponent. He was skilled in taijutsu and he had considerable strength, proven by the fact that he was able to block an attack from Kisame with Samahata with just a kunai. Itachi was exceptional in the use of ninjutsu. His skills were very tuned, and he could perform many jutsu with just one hand. His nature transformation included fire, water, wind, yin, and yang release. But Itachi's main forte is his genjutsu. He was probably the best genjutsu specialist in the Narutoverse. He could cast a genjutsu by matching an opponent's gaze or even by merely pointing a finger towards them. Only highly skilled shinobi and Sharingan users could escape his genjutsu. Itachi's main weapon is his Mangekyo Sharingan. He awakened his Mangekyo after the suicide of Shisui Uchiha, and he has since mastered his Mangekyo abilities. He could cast Tsukuyomi with his left eye, a genjutsu that allowed him to alter the perception of time and space. Only Mangekyo Sharingan users could escape this genjutsu. His right eye has the ability to ignite black flame to his field of vision, flames that could burn anything, even fire itself. The final thing Itachi had was his Susanoo. Although his Susanoo wasn't complete, it did give him an extra layer of defense and gave him more options for attack. His Susanoo also had the Totsuka blade, a blade that could seal anything he pierced, and Yata Mirror, a shield that could block attacks of any nature's transformation by counteracting it with the transformation the attack is weak against. Now let's talk about Tobi, also known as Obito Uchiha. And for your information, we are talking about Tobi as in the masked guy, the guy with two Sharingan, the guy who fought Conan, and not the guy who had a Rinnegan and a Sharingan or the guy who was the Jinchuriki of Ten Tails, because that would be just overkill. Though most of the time, when partnered with Deidara, Tobi seemed goofy, clumsy, and idiotic. It was just an act. He's also one of the most calm and composed shinobi of the Narutoverse. This is mainly due to the fact he was taught by Madara Uchiha. Madara taught him everything he knew, every jutsu, every power-up, every Kekkei Genkai, every technique, and every tactic that he could gather. So there were rarely times when Tobi didn't know his foes, or their techniques. And even in the times he didn't know, he'd just gather information and observe before jumping in, unless he was certain of victory. The fact that he was taught by Madara tells us that he knew almost everything, if not everything, about the Sharingan. Therefore, he is very proficient in its use. After being infused by White Zetsu, his chakra reserves, healing capacity, durability, and stamina were greatly reinforced to such levels that he rarely got tired or ran out of chakra. Being infused with Hashirama cells meant that he could use his Sharingan and Mangekyo to its fullest without care for the consequences of blindness, chakra strain, or sickness. Obito had all 5 of nature's transformations, including yin and yang transformations, and would release Kekkei Genkai. He was very skilled in taijutsu and had considerable physical prowess, proven by the fact he was able to keep up with Naruto's Nine Tails transformation. Enough said. He was very proficient in ninjutsu as well, being a disciple of Madara Uchiha. Although he never used a variety of ninjutsu because he mostly used Kamui, it is believed he is very skilled in ninjutsu. Obito was quite capable in Fuinjutsu as well, shown by his ability to seal the 10 tails within himself and unseal the 9 tails from Kushina. He was very skilled in Genjutsu as well, being an Uchiha. He could put 6-tailed beasts under Genjutsu at once, though this may be argued because of the Rinnegan. His actual testament of Genjutsu ability is the fact he was able to put Yagura Karatachi, the 4th Mizukage, and a perfect Jinchuriki of 3 tails under Genjutsu and control him for years. Let's talk about his Sharingan, especially Mangekyo Sharingan. His main Mangekyo ability was Kamui. He could pass through objects, people, and attacks by using this ability. He could also suck other people and objects into the dimension of Kamui and pull out weapons he stored there. His intangibility lasts for 5 minutes when it is continuously used, meaning if he took gaps in between, the duration will increase. Because in the fight with Naruto, Guy, Kakashi, and B, Obito used Kamui for far longer than 5 minutes. Although he possesses Mangekyo Sharingan, he didn't use Susanoo in the series, so it is assumed he can't because one of his eyes is with Kakashi. But apart from that, Obito is one of the most proficient Sharingan users. I believe he is the third most powerful and proficient Uchiha after Madara Uchiha and Sasuke Uchiha. So, let the battle begin. The only field where Itachi beats Obito is intellect, and not by much, credited to his tutelage under Madara and his experience. Obito has way more durability, health, and chakra reserves than Itachi. Hell, he can fight on for hours before he starts to feel a thing, while Itachi would have to deactivate his Sharingan after he uses black flames for 5 to 10 continuous minutes. Although Itachi does have the Totsuka for sealing, overall Obito is better in Fuin Jutsu. He sealed the 10 tails for God's sake. People say Itachi has very powerful genjutsu, which makes him superior to Obito. But being an Uchiha and having a Mangekyo Sharingan, he will be unaffected by all of Itachi's genjutsu, including Tsukuyomi. Let's not forget he put a perfect Jinchuriki under genjutsu for years, so he's not some novice when it comes to genjutsu. In taijutsu I consider both of them equals. Both have Sharingan, both can use it to precisely read movements and counter-attacks. The thing that gives Obito victory is again, his Kamui ability. He can just phase through Itachi's attacks and land his blows. Even if he gets hit, he can heal himself. Normal ninjutsu attacks, or even the black flames, won't affect Obito since he can just pass through them. So, most of Itachi's attacks won't do any damage to Obito, while his attacks will do serious damage to Itachi, who has less durability, very little chakra, and is sick to begin with. Itachi's best hope is Susanoo. If he's to win, he should bring up Susanoo as soon as possible. This will reduce the amount of damage that he receives while also giving him more options to attack. But there is one problem with this. Itachi's Susanoo is incomplete, meaning it isn't full-body Susanoo, so the movements are slow and restricted for Itachi. Itachi has only one hope of defeating Obito, that is by using the Totsuka blade to seal him, but whether it will work against his intangibility is unknown. After all, his body does go to another dimension while being intangible, and all of the factors in the series suggest that he is able to pass through a Susanoo. After all, he can pass through regular objects, people, weapons, chakra attacks, and changes in chakra natures. It is true that Itachi will find out the secret behind Obito's abilities, but he may never find out about his 5-minute limit. And even if he doesn't have an attack which he can continuously use for 5 minutes. Even if he found out about the jutsu, Itachi doesn't have Minato's speed to stop Obito. Obito has Izanagi, which will be countered by Itachi's Izanami, but apart from that, Itachi has no answer for Obito's abilities. So clear winner, Obito Uchiha.